welcome to the Sabrprints2A Show. Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the Sabrprints2A Show. Today's guest is a legend. His mags are amazing. If you don't know who I'm talking about, then you're living under a rock. Mr. Danny Meatballs. How you doing, man?
Good. How about you, man?
Good, man. Good. Woke up kind of late last night. We were hanging out with iPrint shit on his what is it, Discord or whatever.
Yeah, hell yeah. I love his Discord.
Yeah, his Discord's hella fun actually.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. So for the people that might not know who you are, let them know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Danny Meatball. I've been dubbed the Mag Magician by some, and I'm just a normal guy who likes gun cad, you know?
The gun magician. All right, man. So how long have you been printing for?
Oh, shit. I've been printing for probably like 5 or 6 years now, but it hasn't always been gun cad.
Okay, so before you started doing like stuff like that, two-way stuff and stuff like that, you had prior experience to printing stuff, right?
A little bit, yeah. Yep.
Wow, man. So actually, you're gonna probably be one of the second OGs I've had in this show. So that's cool, man. And you're closing the show. So when people hear this, hopefully they're surprised to know that the magician is here at Sabrprints2A Show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it, man.
I actually reached out to you and I asked you because I had the show all planned. And I liked your work when I printed your mags. And as soon as I printed your mags, like I know you say the settings matter, and the settings do matter. But when I saw that mag and I pulled it out and I looked at it, I'm like, this thing looks like the real thing, man. Like a real, genuine Glock mag. Hopefully you don't get sued, but yeah, man.
I mean, I'm hoping they'll just hire me, you know what I'm saying? Make a couple dollars on the side.
Yeah, but you know Glock is not going to want to reinforce their mags, bro.
Yeah.
But that would be dope if you would do CAD design for them because your shit is fire. Okay, so how did you get into the 2A or like and guns in general?
Yeah, so it started at a young age. Funny enough, my mom, I used to get like G.I. Joes and stuff when I was pretty young. And my mom would always take the guns away from them because she was like, I guess, anti-gun.
Yeah.
She's since changed her ways. But that, like, we couldn't watch like WWE, WWF, like no violence, that kind of stuff. And I don't know if it was like reverse psychology or whatever.
Yes.
But of course I got into it at a pretty young age. Started out with a Ruger 1022. I think I was like 15. Funny enough, she had bought it for me. And then it kind of blew up from there, dude. And we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I'm a big fan of like mechanical things, like how mechanical things work, you know?
Yeah.
I think firearms are a perfect example of just beautiful engineering and all that kind of stuff. So it's very fascinating to me.
You know, I think a lot of us are tinkerers. I don't know if you heard my podcast before, but I've told people like me when I was younger, I used to take stuff apart. And I remember if I couldn't take it apart or like I'll take it apart and if I couldn't put it back together, I'll leave it like that. And then my dad used to get home and he was mad. And I'm like, in my head, this is the first time I'm actually admitting it because I've been realizing it since I've been talking about it. But in my head, bro, I'm like, wait a minute, if he can't put it back together and he's older than me, then how can I take it apart, you know? But I guess it's always hard to put shit back together, you know?
Sometimes, yeah.
So,
but it encourages learning, man. That's how we learn. You take things apart, you figure out how they work. Sometimes you'll break some stuff, but stuff's always replaceable, you know what I mean?
yeah, that's facts, man. Okay, so another question I have for you is, what changed your mother's mind? Because I know you said she was taking away the G.I. Joes, and right now you actually said that she's the one that got you that 1022, right?
Yeah.
What do you think changed her mind?
You know, I'm not 100% sure. I've never actually had the conversation with her, but I think she did a wonderful job raising me and my brother. He joined the military when he was 18, and she kind of, I guess, saw that we could be like responsible human beings, right?
Yeah.
She saw it was a genuine interest of mine, and I guess she just had a change of heart and wanted to encourage the things that I enjoyed doing, which was firearms. So, yeah, shout out to my mom.
Yeah, man. That clap is for your mom, man. That's dope. But yeah, so I was gonna ask you another question too. How did you decide that we needed a more reliable Glock mag? Like that's just, I mean, how did you come up with that idea, man?
Yeah, so people think that it was like a stab at Ivan or DD2, that I was trying to like show him up or something. That's not the case, not even a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um,
I never heard that,
when
but
I
that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's and we don't have to get into it, but it's
Yeah.
always kind of been the thing where like DD2 will put something out, so Are We Cool Yet needs to put something out, or vice versa, or whatever. And I try to stay away from that. So what had actually happened was Invader Zip, he actually sponsored me onto Are We Cool Yet,
Oh, that's dope.
and yeah, good friend of mine. He's an awesome guy. Um, and he was in the middle of making the arc at the time, and he was like, "Hey, dude, I heard you like making magazines. Do you think you can make us some Glock mags?" And I was like, "Fuck it, dude. I'll give it a shot." Um, and that's kind of how it all started. And then the idea was kind of we could have the dev of the mags on the team so they can just come direct to me if they want changes or if they have ideas or if we want to modify it or whatever. And it kind of just worked out that way. So
That's smart, bro. That's actually smart because that way you're part of the group, and then they just come directly to you. And yeah, that's crazy. So before the Glock Mags, had you worked in any other mags, bro?
yeah, so before I was part of the team, um, are you familiar with the SVTR? It's a Mac platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before I joined the team, I was really interested in the SVTR, and to this day, I think it's one of the most beautiful Mac-based receivers. But joined that room, and they were talking about getting a 3D printed mag, and I had just started learning CAD at the time, and I was like, "Oh, it can't be that hard." Um, I was wrong. So
Yeah.
I was like, I was hoping it would be like a weekend project. It ended up taking quite a few weeks to figure it out, but um, they brought me into this like mag room and was like, "Hey man, this is what we got so far." So I went and did some research, and I'd like disassembled some magazines. And what had ultimately helped me figure it out was looking at a clear Glock magazine that was fully loaded.
Yeah.
Because the issue we were having was the rounds would take a nose down attitude, and that's never good for feeding, right? They get all stuck and shit.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
all that to say, we figured it out, and that was my first mag that I developed. It was for the SVTR, and the
Oh,
guys
damn.
really liked it. And then Zip was like, "Let me sponsor you onto the team." Got on, and then just been making miscellaneous magazines ever since.
No, that's dope. Yeah, Sip is Invader Sip. His stuff is really cool. I don't personally know him, but I've seen him like help out Rich, and everybody I speak to always tells me like if you're having any issue, you could reach out to him and he'll reach out to you. So shout out to Invader Sip, man.
100%, yeah, dude. Super smart, very personable. He'll help you out with anything you need, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's cool. Yeah, so now that you were saying about the bullets going down, I started thinking, and you're right, because when you disassemble a mag, the spring is always at an angle, right?
Yeah,
And
so there's a lot of geometry that goes into a mag that you might not think about, and I
uh huh,
think that's why a lot of people are like intimidated to make mags. It's my
yeah,
niche, however you say it.
yeah,
So I enjoy it, but they're like 1 millimeter off, half a millimeter off somewhere can mess up the whole design. So there's a lot of geometry inside.
I think that's like one of my issues. That when I start doing certain stuff, if I don't really get it the way I want it, I get stuck in a project that might take me a couple of hours is gonna take me maybe 2 3 days or more.
Yeah,
Um,
dude.
so that's why I think when I tried learning CAD, it was a little bit frustrating. And then when I started kind of thinking, what am I good at? And I'm like, you know what? Well, I kind of know how to do podcasting from prior stuff, and I'm gonna set it up and see how it goes. So right now I'm trying to do this podcasting just to get people to know who you are, especially
Yeah,
since like I didn't know that you had prior projects to the to me, when I found out about you, I found out about you because of the Glock Mags and the drum. And as soon as I saw those two things, bro, I printed out the mag right away, and then I I saw the mag and I fell in love. And then now that I've been talking more with I print shit, and you did the drum for him. I guess they're
yeah.
going with the Glock and balls or something like that. Um,
Whatever they want to name it, bro.
yeah, it was crazy. So I'm like, man, this is amazing. I have another question. Are you working on anything at the moment, or?
Dude, I'll tell you what. So just like you were talking about, like trying to learn something and getting frustrated with the process or whatever it is, I have endless, my whole Fusion 360 tab on the side full of my projects, dude. There's probably like 20 of them in there. We got 1022 mags, we got quad stack mags, we got miscellaneous mags of all sorts. So I'm working on a lot of stuff. I got an awesome dev team with me from Are We Cool Yet? And they have been absolutely awesome when it comes to this stuff. So plenty of projects.
That's amazing, man. Okay, so I had a question for you.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the drum, bro? Like, why did you decide? Like, we need a drum.
Well, I mean, everybody thinks drums are cool, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really glad you gave me the platform to kind of explain it a little bit. So the drum wasn't originally my idea.
Oh.
Um, have you heard of Dr. Mussey?
No, no. Uh-uh.
Okay. So Dr. Mussey, a very well-established designer and developer, he has his own group called Wait Forward, and a dev in his group was working on a 22 drum. So we reached out to him and was like, "Hey, man, like, how's the progress going with that?" He's like, "It's kind of stalled out. We're running into some issues." I was like, "Cool. Like, me and my team would love to work on it if you allow us, if you let us do that." He said, "Absolutely." He sent it over. So it's Dr. Mussey and a gentleman named V555 from Wait Forward gave us kind of like this. It's kind of like conceptual, this idea of the drum, how it was laid out and stuff. And then I took that and kind of ran with it. We made it into 9mm. We're still working on the 22 version. It's proving to be pretty difficult, but the 9mm version was rather straightforward and simple.
Why do you think that the 22 version is becoming more difficult?
Oh man, 22 is a super finicky caliber. Because I've been working on this 1022 stick mag for well over a month or two now. It has to do with the rims, how finicky the round is. A lot of the 22 firearms don't actually have feed ramps, so you got to get that round directly into the chamber on the first shot, or else you're going to jam it up. So there's plenty of issues, and we've just been working through them ever since.
Damn, no wonder.
So
Yeah, I've always wondered, like, why isn't there like a drum for 22? Because for a while, even Ruger just had the little, like, the squared weird boxes, and then they started moving to the longer ones.
yeah, and those dudes, I mean, I'm sure they got engineers there
Yeah,
that work
exactly.
on this kind of stuff 24/7.
But still, like, it's amazing how they're like, well, here comes the magician. Let me take over that 22, and at least you got it working with 9, so that's fire, man.
Yeah, so we're hopefully we'll be able to get it out by the end of April. As long it's in beta right now, and the beta testers have been balling out, knocking it out, and they've been pretty successful. So assuming nothing major pops up, we'll be able to get it out hopefully around the end of April. But that's a tentative date.
That's cool. Let's keep our fingers crossed for that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about what got you into 3D printing. Like, do you remember what clicked in your head and you're like, not 3D printing in general, because I know you were doing 3D printing before, but into say, like, I'm going to start printing guns.
Yeah. Cody Wilson, if for the short answer, I was following him and all his like legal issues and stuff that he was fighting for.
Yeah.
From like way back in 2015, 2016, that era. And it was kind of just fascinating what he was trying to do. And I was pretty young at the time. So, just a rebel without a cause I was, and then here he comes like sticking it to the man, right? So it's very attractive to a younger crowd like us, right? To the gun cad community. So he's forging the way. I'm following him, everything he's doing. He drops a Liberator, the original pistol, and I'm like, man, that's dope. A novelty, kinda. Same with like his lower receivers that he had put out.
Yeah, remember
So I printed them.
everybody was like trying to say that it was gonna be one of those like hit guns, like because you could only use it once and stuff like. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So for the longest while, I was like, okay, 3D printing's kind of a novelty, or 3D printing guns anyway is kind of a novelty. You got the Liberator, which is neat, and it proves a point, but it's not like sustainable, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very I don't know the word I'm looking for, like a niche little area. And then when I finally got onto the Are We Cool Yet team, I realized how far it had come and how much I was missing out. And I was like, man, this has come so far that we can have designs that will literally last forever. I mean, you look at print, shoot, repeat, the dude's running force reset triggers on printed lowers, and they're doing just fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are.
P80 Ralph's trying to run hundreds of rounds through a Glock like in one sitting. Like,
yeah,
we've made progress.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of work with his Glock frames and the Anemoline or whatever. Shout out to P80 Ralph. But you're right, man. I think we don't see it because it's moving so fast that we don't realize that how much progress it's happening, right? Because I think if you look back and you look at the design of the first Glock that they were making, it was functionable, but it wasn't pretty. Remember, because it had those screws sticking out and everything.
Yeah, I printed one. I still have the rails for it. Yeah.
What was it called? That one?
Oh man, I probably had a remix. I know I have one from a gentleman named Bob the Builder who I've never actually met.
Oh, okay.
And it was just a basic Glock with those screw-in aluminum rails in the back.
Yeah, and you're right, the M3 screws or something like that.
Yeah.
So it went from that, and then it went from actual regular rails, but the front one was different. So the design has evolved so quick, you don't even see it. Because I remember when I saw that. So I started because of the Liberator and seeing all that stuff that he was fighting, and then I think I got into it. I met certain people in the community, and then I ended up seeing the first gun match, right? The Gunmakers match, the first one where Bice did that interview. And at first, I was really happy with the interview. I was like, wow, they're actually doing it. But then at the end, when she goes and starts showing like all the pictures and this and that to the Fed, I'm like, damn, they had to go do something cringy. But when I saw all the guns on that, what's it called, on that documentary, man, I was blown away. I was like, damn, this stuff is just changing. So yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another question for you.
Send it.
What do you want to do with what you're doing at the moment? Like, what's your goal?
Honestly, I just don't want it to become work. You know what I mean? I started this as a hobby, and I intend to keep it there. Because some people say that you find what you do, and then you go make that or find what you like to do, and you go make that your job. But I don't know. The second it becomes work, it becomes like monotonous. Then it becomes no more fun. So I want to keep doing this as a hobby. I want it to remain fun the entire time I'm doing it. And I just want to make friends and pump out awesome shit and work with DD2 and BLC and all the other gun CAD groups and try to reach our max potential. You know what I mean?
Okay. And then I have a question for you. You don't need to answer it if you don't want to. I'm just bringing it up because we were kind of talking about this last night. What do you think about certain... Okay, you know how everybody has a baby, right? every project is your baby, or you something that you really get attached to, that you might
Yeah.
not want others to touch because you might think, oh, they're gonna mess it up, or maybe they're gonna take the limelight away from you, right?
Hmm.
Do you think that it's important to have others join you to build something, to create it, or do you think that it's better if each of us stays in our own lane and work on our own design? What's your opinion on that?
That's a good question. And it all depends on the creator, right? The creative mind. So I personally like to work my own design with myself, just me, and print it out a bunch of times and a bunch of different revisions until I can get it working. And then I'm more than happy to give it to my beta team or my dev team, so they can find all the flaws that I missed, right?
Yeah.
Because I've experienced before where I give a design to my team a little bit too early, and then you get like 20 different versions of that design, and it's like, all right, which one is the most current, or which one is working right now and which one's not? So that's just me. I know there are some guys that their projects are a conglomeration of everybody working on individual pieces at a time. Like, hey, I'll work the grip, or I'll work the magwell, or whatever. And if that works for them, like, full send, man, go for it. But I personally like um, to work on it by myself, and only because I'm not an actual engineer. So a lot of my stuff is, um, I'll print it out and test it, and it's like, oh, well, I fucked up that small part, and I'll have to change one tiny little bit, and I'll print it out again. And I just don't want other people like wasting all that filament and stuff
Yeah,
when I can
that makes sense.
take the brunt of that, you know?
Yeah, no, that for sure that makes sense. You're right. I think I'm the same way too when it comes to certain stuff that I wanna do. I'd rather have me do everything first, and then once I get it done, if I feel like it's fine, I'll let people touch it and, you know, remix it or mess
Yeah.
with it. But I think that's a good point, man. Also, another question, man.
So
And I'm coming with some weird questions just because this is the final episode of the show, you know? So I want
yeah, I'm all for it.
All right, here we go. What do you think about about groups, bro? Do you think that if you would have not been part of the group you are, would you had a harder time doing what you're doing right now with the Glock Mags, with the drum, and with whatever else you're working?
Um, that's a good question. And I'm not 100% sure. I know Are We Cool Yet has enabled me to kind of, the way it works is we're a community of like individuals, right? So each dev is in charge of their own projects, right? So no leadership or mod or whoever from Are We Cool Yet can come into my project and be like, you are or are not going to do this, right? Get
Yeah.
to do what I want. We have a set of guidelines that we have to follow. That's like no doxing people or whatever it may be, simple stuff. But we have creative control over everything we do. And I haven't actually worked with the other groups, so I can assume that it's the same. And regardless of whether I was part of AWCY or DD2 or whoever, I would have found a way to do what I needed to do. So, yeah.
Okay, another question. Do you think that with time, as this niche grows, you know, as what we're doing all at right now with the printing and the, you know, wherever this is going, do you think as this gets bigger, what are you more scared for of seeing? Are you seeing, like, say, they're gonna start, maybe you're gonna have to get a special license to own printers, or the filament is gonna be sold, but you're gonna have to give out your ID. Like, what kind of scares you of the future of what we're doing at this moment?
Um, I don't know if anything really scares me per se, because the cat's really already out of the bag, right? It was
Yeah.
out of the bag when Cody Wilson released his first files. Everybody was like, we got to control these. Like, nope, it hit the internet, it's out there, and there's no taking it back, right?
Yeah.
There's millions and millions of printers and homes, and they're out there, and there's no taking them back. You know what I mean? It's we're already doing it, and there's nothing they're going to really be able to do to stop it. Now, if they put laws and regulations, they could try. They could try and stop it. You're in California, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So California is anti-ghost gun. That's
Yeah.
air quotes ghost gun, right? But you can literally just push print on your printer, bro. That law doesn't stop you from doing shit.
Nah.
And they're never going to know about it until you let them know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, until they go and check out my Instagram, Sabrprints.
Yeah.
Nah.
So, I mean, I don't know. They can keep making rules and regulations and laws and shit. But, I mean, just like gun laws, dude, the only people it's going to affect is people that are law-abiding citizens.
Yeah,
criminals
correct.
aren't law-abiding citizens. That's what makes them criminals. So you keep making more laws and rules and shit, you're only affecting people who want to follow the law, the good people in the community. You know what I mean? So, but of course they don't see it that way, and they're gonna keep pushing their agenda or whatever it is for whatever reason. But that's just how I see it.
No, you're right. I agree with you because, like I was telling the people last night, I was letting them know, check this out. Everybody's making a fuss about the P80s or whatever, right? And I don't know if you've seen certain YouTube channels today and last night, and I think even JSD Supply, they ended up sending a note, like an email, saying that some stuff might drop on Monday, right? And then they're going to see what drops, and after that, they're going to see how they proceed. So I was telling people that I live in an area in California that is not like in the middle of nowhere. It's in the city. I'm going to say it. I really don't care. I'm probably like 30 minutes away from LA, right?
Okay.
So I'm in a city, pretty much, and a lot of the guns that I see that people carry are not ghost guns. They're registered guns that are illegal registered guns. A lot of the stuff I see that police post, right, when they say, "Oh, we got a criminal with a gun, with an illegal gun or a ghost gun," it's a registered gun that had the serial number filed off. So it's hard, I think a lot of people are gonna be like, I'm not gonna buy a P80, right? Especially get it shipped and they don't know if it's gonna come here, when I could go and somebody's gonna send me brand new legal guns for about the same price that I could probably get a P80 shipped all the way over here, maybe a little bit more, but it's a reliable gun, because a lot of people think, this is what I've heard, right? This is my personal opinion, is that they say, oh, the ghost guns or the P80s, they get stuck, they jam, they don't work. And that's sometimes what I talk to certain people. I'm like, no, if they do that, it's because whoever was building it didn't take their time,
Right.
So I think that's what these politicians are not looking at, because they don't live in areas like this. They live in gated communities by themselves with security, so they don't know what's really going out in the world, like with the common folk, with the blue-collar workers and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's always people like that know nothing about guns that want to say the most about them and control them and all that kind of stuff. It's a sad truth, but it's a reality that we live in, that Nancy Pelosi and whoever else, like, they probably have never shot a gun before or held one or whatever it is. They don't know the culture. They don't know the responsible side of things. Yet they're the ones that control it for the mass population, right? So.
Yeah, it's insane, man. It's a sad thing, but I think that's why I told people, I was always like pro gun, right? I didn't know what being pro 2A meant, because there's a difference between liking guns and, yeah, I like guns, this and that, but there's a difference between being pro gun and being pro A, to my opinion, to my belief, because once you're pro A, you're going to agree with a lot of stuff that the government is not going to agree with. And that's where you got to learn that, there's a saying, bro, that I like to live by. I don't know if you heard it. but it's by Emiliano Zapata, which he was a revolutionary, and it says, "I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees." And
Yeah, man.
and I've always been a real true believer of that quote, because I believe that at this time and age, they really want us to be sheep. Honestly, you could tell with what happened with all the stuff with COVID and stuff like that. They're trying to control us more and squeeze us more. And I believe it's not fair, because if you look at history and you see how things played out before they start in certain countries started doing gun laws, where they took away the guns from the citizens, it's pretty much what's happening at this moment in time, you know?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that if they really, really wanted gun control, they should have started before we had guns. At this point in time, there is no taking all the guns. You will never take them.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
correct.
There's millions. We, as America, fun fact, have more guns in the civilian population than like the top 5 militaries combined. It's absurd.
For real?
More guns than people.
Damn.
Yeah, 100%. Check it
That's
out.
great. And then it's probably like every time they're like I know during COVID and during Trump, like a lot of the gun stuff went up too, huh? Like the sales, I remember that. It was
Yeah, I
insane.
mean, it happens every time when Obama came into presidency.
Yeah, I
I'm
remember
not
that too.
political. I don't choose political sides. But gun sales went straight up.
Yeah.
Right? It happens every time a new president's elected.
All right, man. So I got a question for you. Now that you got me
Send it.
thinking,
Uh-oh.
what is something that you would love to see happen in this community?
I was asked that recently. And honestly, I've been seeing people come up with shit that like I couldn't even imagine, like stuff that I didn't even know I wanted, right? So I don't think there's anything that I could think of that I want that isn't already being made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can talk about like technological advances in like printing technology. That would be really nice
Uh-huh.
if we could all have access to like SLS technology or metal printing. But when it comes to like weapon platforms and all this other shit, it's already being done, dude. We got rocket launchers. I don't
Yeah,
know if we're
did you
allowed
see
to
that?
legally call them rocket launchers, but
We call them T-shirt launchers in this show.
there you go. There you go.
we
We got
got
t-shirt launchers. We got double barrel Glocks, bro. We
Yeah.
got double drums. We got all the shit, man. So we're taking this technology that we currently have, like the traditional FDM, and we're pushing it to its limits. And I think it's awesome.
I mean, you know what I've been seeing lately, and maybe you see it too, because if you're on Instagram and you get those weird ads sometimes. I've been seeing a lot of that they've been pushing this 3D printer for food, like chocolate and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen little chocolate printers before. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that till recently, but I mean, what I've seen a lot too is how they're doing like houses and cement and stuff like that. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Honestly, I really dig that.
Yeah. Whether you like 3D printing or not, or 3D printed guns anyway, you gotta admit that that's good for humanity in general. Is the kind of applications that they're doing with like the houses and stuff like that. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, man. So since you mentioned something about double Glocks, I need to ask, how did the double Glock mag started? Like the Glocknowski mag? What? I need to know this, bro. Let me know.
Yeah. So I think what had happened was SABRPRINTS posted it on Instagram, and he had used my Glock mags and like he catted them together, and I was like, "Yo, that's dope! Like, I appreciate you using my shit."
Yeah.
He's like, "No problem, bro." And then he's like, "You know, it'd be cool." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Double drums, bro." And I said, "Yeah, you're right." So it took me about a week to find enough time to sit down and mess with the original drum design, but we got it out. He's got it right now. I'm sure you've seen it in his Discord.
Yeah. No, we actually
So
had a show last night. So we're doing me, him, Guns from the Green.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we did that show. We talk shit, and he busted out there, and then he came out. He's doing a little press run right now, bro. It's going good for him, so I'm happy. He did
Good.
that DLD After Dark, and
Mm-hmm.
so he came out with him, and he showed everything, spoke about it, So yeah, man, it's going well. That thing looks nice. That's where we're trying to come up with the names. I was telling them, actually, Plastic Gats told them that if one of the drums is lower than the other one, and then he's all like, it's normal. I don't know if you've spoken with Plastic Gats, but that guy's insane. I just met him like last night.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the community is going to take some of the files and put their own
Twist, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
man.
more power to them.
No, I mean, I think, honestly, I really love the community right now at this moment, because everybody's actually together. Everybody has issues with certain people, but that's personal issues. You know what I mean? That's where I think
Yeah.
we need to understand more that certain stuff should be left in the past. It's personal issues, good, that's it. But it shouldn't be brought into the community, because then that kind of takes the fun away from it. So right now, we're all, like I said, you're probably the second older guy that's been printing for longer. I don't mean in age, but I mean in experience. You're probably,
Sure.
let's call you an OG. And then I had come out in PLA, who was an OG. And actually, what I was trying to do for this season is I was trying to get people that were a little bit newer. But then when I saw your designs, bro, I said, he has to be the closer. He has to be the one that closes the show, because people are going to love that show. So then what I'm trying to do for the upcoming season is I'm trying to get people that are a little bit more experienced, so that way there could be like, okay, so this first show was about people that kind of started printing. Let's see what the people that have been printing a little bit longer have to say about certain situations or certain issues. So that's what I'm trying to go.
The real OGs. Man.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm trying to go. And hopefully it works. We'll see. But yeah, man, like, I'm really happy with the community at the moment. It's growing, but at the same time, we're still communicating with each other, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said before, realizing that some of the beef that's in the community is strictly between individuals and not between the groups, I think is really what's going to set us free. So I just hope people understand that that's the case, and it's not one group versus another group, because I can only speak for myself, but I know for a fact that many members of my community feel the same way, that we don't have beef with DD2. We don't have beef with Black Lotus. That's all an individual basis thing. So, in fact, I am actually working with Black Lotus right now. We're going to try and get a joint project going. Hopefully
Wait, no, don't say that. Hold on. Hold on.
China.
I got the wrong one. Hold on, this one. I'll fix it. Breaking news. You're hearing it here first. That's the Sabrprints2A Show Network. What was that?
That's right. So they are making a Mac 10, which is a 45 Mac platform. And I had just developed a 45 magazine for another buddy of mine who has his own 45 stuff going. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, if I can build this bridge with you guys, that'll be fantastic. They brought me over, and hopefully we can get that rolling. We can get him a nice printed mag in 45. It'll actually be, other than the one that I'm already working on, it'll be my first 45 mag that'll be successful.
Damn,
so
that's dope. Bro, now I understand why they call you the magician, bro. Because you just make magic happen, bro. For
trying.
real. I mean, you see, guys, so don't believe the fake news like Trump would say or anybody else would say. To be honest, don't believe the fake news. Um, it's everything's personal. We need to work together to build a stronger community because at the end of the day, the only people that are going to bring this community down is ourselves. If we have people infiltrating our community, it's because of jealousy and we want to bring other new people in to try to be better, but we don't know who those people truly are. And that's what's going to be the downfall, in my opinion, to be honest.
Yeah, like just imagine what we could do if literally everybody, if there was no drama, no bullshit. Oh shit, I'm throwing stuff across my room. If like we all worked together, right? If we had no walls, no boundaries, right? I think we can reach leaps and bounds in our designs, bro. So that's the end goal. And hopefully we can get there sooner than later.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you're totally on point with that because if you go back in history and look at the times where there was more of science and anything that was created, architecture, art, growth, it was when at time of peace, at time when everybody was actually happy and had time to go out there and ponder and create.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, okay, man. One last question. That way, you could have and enjoy your Sunday because I know most people are not going to understand this interview. Once this interview kind of drops, I'll let you guys know why I'm saying what I'm saying right now because this man is really busy with his schedule and we had to do a lot of stuff to make this interview work for you guys, especially for him. That way, I need to respect you guys' time, and if he's taking the time to come and actually close this show for you guys and have it be the best last show, not the last show, but the last show of the season, we got to respect him.
Well, I appreciate that.
What do you see yourself, let's say, you've already been doing 10 years of printing. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Sorry about that. In another 5 years, will that be a total? That would be a total of 10 years. Where do you see yourself, and what do you want to do with your future?
It's a good question. I want to see, like I said, the enthusiast level technology in 3D printing. Kind of take the next big step. We've been FDM printing for years and years and years now, and I know that there are some newer technologies out there that are kind of just out of reach, right? They're like $6,000 for the cheapest SLS printer.
Damn.
But the second that we can get into metal printing, bro, I think the community is literally going to be unstoppable. No limitations. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I like making these big projects, these drum mags and Glocks and stuff that people are excited about. And then in between that, I'm just going to try and knock out all the tiny projects. Maybe I'll stray away from magazines. But we'll see.
Damn, man. I feel you. And you know what, man? People don't understand this. And I don't even know if you kind of understand this, but you're keeping America free, one mag, one drum at a time, bro. Honestly, because, I would have never been able to own a drum if it wasn't for you. I would have never been able to own certain mags if it wasn't for the 3D printing. I mean, I could, you know what I mean? But to actually make them myself, sit here and, look at them and be like, yeah, these work because, I'm in California. So, but yeah, you're keeping America free from tyranny. One mag, one drum, maybe two drums if we're talking about the Glock Mags at a time. So
yeah,
I could tell, man, that your stuff is really nice. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine. That's the beauty of FOSCAD, bro. Open source stuff, man. I can design it. You can make it. It takes the work of one person or one team or whatever to put in all the hard work and the design and the research and the engineering and stuff, and then that design is available for anybody who wants access to it. And with the internet, they have access to it. So, um, yeah, FOSSCAD's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. And once again, shout out to all the beta testers because I know you guys
Hell yeah.
make shit possible. Shout out to Danny Meatballs, beta testers, for giving us kick ass shit. And it's amazing, guys. Okay, man.
Yeah. They don't
So,
get enough love, man.
yeah, they don't, bro. People forget about it. But I mean, I guess it's a joint, it's like a joint team, right? And
Yeah.
I think that's what we were trying to talk about earlier when we were saying about groups and teams. We're all gonna need a group, a team, because, like you said, sometimes you needed. If it wasn't for AWC, you wouldn't have seen all those mags and stuff that you said they showed you, right? I mean, you could have,
Yeah.
but it would have been a little bit harder because everybody brought in what they had and put it on the table and let's go. So sometimes people say, well, we shouldn't have groups or teams. No, we have to. We're humans. Everybody's going to go to somebody they feel like they could relate to, and that's where it's going to build. The issue is that when drama comes along, we need to know that it's personal. Once you have personal stuff, it's personal. Keep it to yourself. Bye. So, I mean, people need to understand that no matter what, we're gonna have groups, we're gonna have teams. It has to happen in order for certain people give us what we want, and for us to give you what you want. Like at this moment with
Yeah.
me, I got the team I chose is I asked them and I chose everybody for a reason, and now we doing something for everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and hopefully you guys like it, and hopefully we grow. But that's it. I guess it's part of life.
Yeah. The beta guys have the most dangerous job, and it's testing untested shit, right?
Yeah, man.
Whether it be guns or magazines or whatever it is, they're making sure that if something goes wrong, it's for people who volunteered for it to go wrong. They test it first before it goes out to the rest of the community, right?
Exactly.
So um, they're the ones putting all the money into it, all the filament, all this stuff to make sure that we get a solid product out to the community. So, got
For the beta testers.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Shout out to the beta
wait.
testers.
I forgot one question that I always ask people, bro.
What you got?
How did your how does your family now take it? Because I know you were saying in the beginning we talked about how your mom was a little bit iffy about stuff, but now that your mom, do they know you do all of this, and what do they say?
My mom, she's kind of ignorant in the world of guns, so I'm sure she's not like tracking what 3D printed guns are. My wife absolutely loves it because it's something that I love to do, right? Whether she finds it interesting or not, she always has the time to listen to my shitty stories about the group of guys or a funny joke or my design, and she just knows that I'm really passionate about it, so she's always excited for my excitement. She actually came with to Gunmaker's match, which was awesome. We made a
Oh,
lot of friends there.
damn, that's
She made
dope.
friends there, so the
Damn,
people I work with think it's pretty cool. So everybody's been pretty supportive.
that's good, man. Shout out to the wives, the mothers, the sisters, the brothers, whoever has to put up with our stuff and listen to us, kind of. Because, bro, I do the same thing. I print something and I go talk to my brother and I tell him, and he's like, "It's just a gun." But at least my brother kind of knows a little bit of CAD design and stuff like that. So if I talk to him about like, oh, but look at how smooth it is, or look at there's not that many layer lines, he'll understand. But I know sometimes my
Yeah.
mom looks at me like, what the hell are you doing?
And some people won't ever understand, man. But I mean, I could say the same thing about other people's hobbies. It's like it might not be something that I'm into. It might just be whatever. Like, cool, you built a sweet hot rod. Like, I'm not interested in it, but I know that you have a great passion for it, and I support your right to be able to do that, right? And I
Yeah.
hope that others can see that that's what we want to do in GunCAD. It's something we enjoy doing, and we should and do have the right um, to do this stuff. So kind of just let us be, let us do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you're right. As long as we're not hurting anybody in the community or affecting anybody in a negative way, I believe everybody should be free to do whatever they want. I mean, I think people forget that that's part of the first, the First Amendment of America, like, freedom to do whatever you want. Is it, or am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm messing stuff up.
No, that's it. Freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion. Like, I don't have
Yes,
issues with anybody's anything. Like, let people do what they want to do as long as it's not affecting other people, right?
correct. That's true, man.
Me designing these mags in my Fusion 360, like, and I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just doing my own thing in my house by myself with my small team of people that like doing this too. Like, we're not doing anything to anybody. Like, leave us alone.
Yeah, I think people don't understand that everybody has something that they like to do to unwind. And if it's drinking a couple of beers, maybe, if you don't drink, you don't drink. But if you just want to sit there and do your cat designs and create cool shit, then more freedom to you. I mean, other people are doing way worse to relax. So who are we to judge?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
So remember, guys.
I'm not doing this with the thought of like, oh man, I can't wait till criminals get my design. Like, no, like I don't have bad intent when I'm doing this. So
For
don't
real.
treat me like I do.
I hate that. I think people think we're over here doing our little Mr. Burns hand movement every time we print something, and we're like, yes, we're gonna hurt somebody. Like, nah, bro, relax.
Yeah, like it's
We're waiting to show it off and hopefully get a couple likes and retweets or whatever social media app you use, and then go tell our family, like, look, they love it or they hate it.
yeah, most of us are just giant nerds, bro. Like,
For reals.
just let us nerd out.
Yeah, actually, that's true. All right, man. I really appreciate your time, especially you giving me your Sunday, bro, because, you know, people are going to know. This was a Sunday podcast. I've never done a Sunday podcast. This is the first, but I did it for him because, first of all, it's the magician, guys. Come on. What the fuck? Second, he's a busy man. He's bringing peace to the factions that we call 3D printing groups.
Trying.
He's trying one mag at a time. The magician. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate you, bro. And shout
I
out.
appreciate your time as well, man.
Any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to everybody in the community, regardless of who you are or what you're doing. I appreciate the entire community, and I hope I can make you guys proud and give you guys some cool ass shit that you can print.
And let people know where they could find you, bro.
Yeah, Danny Meatball on Are We Cool Yet Matrix, Reddit, Instagram. I stay off Twitter because it's Twitter.
Toxic.
So
I said it,
yeah,
not him.
it's kind of toxic. So
All right, guys. Everything's
other
gonna.
than that, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'll fix that.
No, go ahead.
Oh, everything's gonna be down in the podcast, so I'll tag all his stuff in the bio so you guys could check it out, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And thank you, guys.